Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of CRESI's Ontario Landlord Series, where we're here to educate and inform landlords across Ontario about different things that they need to know, whether that's an investment strategy or what's happening within our government and the rule changes like Bill 60, which is what we just talked about recently. But today we're going to bring on a gentleman named Adrian Pannozzo, who is going to talk to you about a different way of investing in real estate in Ontario as a joint venture and alongside with what they've been doing for 16 or so years now. Adrian, good morning. Welcome. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me. Great to
Yeah,
be here.
Adrian is the CEO and founder of Generational Wealth Incorporated and its group of companies. He was a police officer for over 21 years, and then he decided to retire in 2017, thanks to his investing through real estate, allowed him the freedom to do so. As I mentioned, 16 years in multifamily real estate, Adrian started out buying smaller multi-residential properties like duplexes, triplexes, quads, etc., honing on his renovation and operations skill set from the ground up. Over the past several years, he scaled aggressively into apartment building and new development space, establishing himself as a major force in the Ontario investment real estate currently. Generational Wealth Incorporated raises capital through joint venture partnerships to acquire and reposition investment properties. Today, Adrian's portfolio includes over 90 multifamily properties totaling over 600 units, and he continues to grow it year over year. In recent years, Adrian has moved beyond acquisition and management and stepped decisively into the real estate development space, with active builds and redevelopment projects underway across the West and North GTA markets. This evolution marks a new era of creating housing from the ground up and elevating communities through thoughtful development. He's also the owner of Investors Edge Construction Management, a full service construction company specializing in multifamily conversions, a large scale renovations, and taking care of large scale renovations throughout the Hamilton region. Additionally, he's co founded Rise Property Solutions, a full service property management company servicing the west side of the GTA. At his core, Adrian is driven by one mission: helping ordinary people create extraordinary generational wealth. His proven buy, renovate, refinance strategy has empowered countless investors to scale and confidently build real financial freedom. Wow, that's a mouthful, but a lot of things that you got your hands into. And let's start with why this all started with you back when you were still policing.
Yeah, I was probably 10 years into my career. So I did 22 years on the police department in the GTA, and I was probably, give or take, around 10 years. And I started thinking, okay, when I put in my full 30 and I'm on my pension, you know, I need a little bit of extra income to kind of, I guess, fill the gap, right, of being on pension and not having full salary. So you know, I thought back then maybe one of the safest ways to do that is to have a rental property, essentially. So I thought, okay, maybe max two, couple rental properties. That cash flow is going to help bridge that gap from, being on pension and whatnot. And I could probably still have the same lifestyle and income, so to speak. So that's all it was. The light bulb went off and I pulled a line of credit on my house. I had no money, but I had equity in the house. That's it. So we pulled a home equity line of credit. I think I started with 100,000 or just over $100,000 or give or take on a line of credit. Again, this is about 16 years ago now, 10 years into my career. So I bought the first rental property with a line of credit. My down payment came from a line of credit. And then, be honest with you, I was scared shitless. And, for those people that are like to take that first step and borrow to actually get in the game, that was me. And I was scared shitless. But I convinced my wife to do it. And so we started with that line of credit, bought the first one. We had some money left on the line of credit. The first one was going good. It was a little duplex, a bungalow with 1 unit up, 1 unit down in York region. And yeah, it was going good. We got tenants paying, everything's great, and had money left on the line. So we bought the second one, convinced my wife to get even further in debt and buy the second one. So, yeah, that one went well. So we get tenants in, we're cash flowing, things are great. And I'm still a police officer, and I'm taking care of my 2 rentals and my tenants and everything else. And then my mortgage guy said, like, just a couple years later, my mortgage guy said, "Hey, that first one you bought, it's gone up 200 grand or whatever it was back then, in equity. Why don't we refinance that one, pull some equity out of the first rental, get you another line of credit, and buy another one?"
Sorry, Adrian, I'm going to pause you right there just before we keep rolling, because what you're banging on, what you're hitting on right here is, one, the fear to actually do something, right? Like, that's the hardest part. And they say that everything that we want is just on the other side of fear, right? So to be actually able to take that step and go do it is very commendable, because a lot of people don't get that far, right? They talk about doing it for a very long time. And that first initial step is the hardest thing to do, right? To actually start.
Pull the
Is
trigger.
very, very hard for everyone. And the other thing is while you're saying I convinced my wife to go further into debt, that's what real estate investing is all about, right? Is the leverage from one property to the next, because it's good debt. It's not like you went out and you bought a Porsche. You know what I mean? This is debt that we can roll over, and then, like you just did with that first property, it appreciated. So then, instead of taking from your primary residence, you were then able to take from an investment property to be able to grow again. So, anyways, I didn't want to interrupt you there as you were rolling through your story, but I just think those are 2 points that I wanted to hit on there as you were going, that uh, most investors, if not all investors, go through. How do we get started? And pulling from your primary residence is probably maybe the best way to do it, because you can write off the interest, and it allows you to get started. Because most of us all have our careers where we know that one day we're going to need a little bit more money when we retire to make sure we're going to be able to enjoy our lives as much as we do while we're working. But so to go back into it, you pulled money out of the first duplex in North York.
Yeah. So then I refinanced the first one, got another line of credit, some more money on that one, and then bought the third one. Um, it was probably 4 in. I want to say it was about 4 rental properties in. What started out as I only want 2 properties that cash flow to subsidize when I put in my 30 on the job. Um, Now I'm at 4, and they're cash flowing, and I'm taking care of it myself. I have a newborn daughter. I'm still a police officer. So, I don't really have any sympathy for people that say, I just don't have the time. Like, how am I going to do it? I don't have time. I don't have time. Yeah, I don't like, there's always time. If you want something, you go after it and you make the time. So I'm a 10-year veteran police officer, a new dad, 4 rental properties, working shifts. My wife's working full time. You make the time. And I made the time. So there's sacrifices along the way, but you gotta make the time. You may not sleep 9 hours a night, but you know, there's sacrifices in every success. So long story short, that gained traction. So I'm 4 rental properties in. And then we started to partner. We started a joint venture and partner with investors who essentially um, wanted to invest in real estate, didn't know the first thing about it, didn't, they're very successful in their careers. They're mostly entrepreneurs, doctors, essentially lawyers, and just some regular folk, some other police officers I partnered with, 911 community as well. And then obviously some upper net worth people, but they wanted to invest in multifamily real estate. Didn't know where to start. Didn't really have the time because they're really focused on their career. So they don't want to deal with tenants and toilets and everything else. So we started a partner and we became the sweat equity partners in this partnership. So we would do everything for them. We'd find the deal, we'd underwrite the deal, um, carry on renovations, manage the property, deal with the tenants, and Everything else from step 1 to step 10 is on us, and we provide exceptional returns on their capital. So that took off essentially. We're looking back now, we're probably in 2015, 2016, 2017. This partnership with a lot of like-minded investors kind of rocketed, just really took off. And mostly, obviously, because we deliver, right? People will continue to come back and give you continued service. Same way, you're going to go back to the restaurant if you really like the food and the service is great. So you're going to come back and reinvest with our company if we deliver, obviously, what the results and returns that people are attracted to. So that took off, long story short. So financially, I was able to retire early after 22 years of service. Um, and I decided I wanted to turn this partnership in real estate investing into a full-time gig and uh, devote all my time now that I left the police department early, devote all my time, all my energy into establishing and growing this into a full-time business. And, stepping out of your comfort zone, getting back to taking action, stepping out of your comfort zone is I can't say enough about that because again, I was scared shitless, right? I leave a good job. I'm probably making back then on the police department 130 grand a year, pension, benefits, the whole 9 yard. I throw in the towel, had a great job. I still loved being a cop. But I throw in the towel to be an entrepreneur, essentially. And a lot of people thought I was crazy, but I did it anyway. Convinced my wife and, started focusing full time on this. Since I retired, so we grew a portfolio now, as you mentioned, to over 600 units. What started out as I want 1 or 2 rental properties, here we are almost 16 years later, essentially 600 units across the GTA, full scale property management team that takes care of all of our units. Again, our partners never deal with a tenant, never deal with a toilet or a leaky tap or zero. A full-scale construction team that does all of our management with respect to renovations and now being in the development space, does our new builds. We have in-house accounting, essentially a full-scale real estate investing team, company that finds the deal, underwrites the deal, builds the buildings or renovates the buildings, deals with the tenants and the toilets 24/7, 365 days a year. And what started out as I want 1 or 2 rental properties. Here we are 16 years later, a full-scale investment multifamily team in the
How things
GTA.
change,
So
eh?
that's my story.
How things change from just wanting a little bit of extra income to building out 3 different companies that all compensate and coherently work with one another, right? Similar to what we do here with the real estate and then the property management as well, to make sure that they are as hands off as they want to be. I think that's the most important thing. Some people, I say all the time, whereas individuals are fingerprints, right? Some want to be involved more than others. A lot of people, though, are like what you're saying. I just want my money to make me some money. I don't want to have to do anything. Please, you take care of all the headaches, all the issues, and just report back to me as needed, right? So that everybody can be working. So, when you first decided to get into looking for larger scale families, what is it that you're looking for in these deals? Are you looking for something that has, uh, you know, in the bio, we talk about there how the buy, renovate, and refinance plan, right? We all know this is a great way to force appreciation is by improving a property right away. Is that something that you always look for, is to have that forced appreciation ability, like the instant uptick in renovation, or are you looking for something that's fully tenanted and already profiting? What's your suggestions there for people that are looking for something?
Yeah, great question. So I call those vintage buildings that we've done historically: buy, renovate, refinance, and rent. Those are the vintage buildings. We've taken over buildings that, as small as 6 units. Our biggest one is 47 units, purpose built. Yes, we buy those buildings and we look for lift, right? The reason, obviously, we don't buy turnkey. I need that lift in the buildings with our underwriting and our analysis, because the investors that partner with us, they put their money in the deal and they want their money back as fast as they can, so they can take that money and do it again and do it again and do it again and build a real estate empire of over 600 units. There's nothing wrong with buying turnkey. You're just leaving that capital in the deal, a lot longer than recycling that capital through the buy, renovate, refinance. So yes, we look for deals that there is that lift there through strategic renovations, obviously improving the rents, so on and so forth, to extract most, if not all, of that capital we put in. We want to get back out, back to the investors. Now they got the money back. And you know what? The first thing typically they say is, holy shit, Adrian, I got all my money back. I still own the building. The building's cash flowing. Can you find another one for me? And again, and again, and again. So, and then the new development stuff, Kevin, we've pivoted over the last few years, several years, into new development as well, because as you know, with the MLI Select program under CMHC, we're able to achieve incredible financing that you can't get on the res side. So we're leveraging up to 95. We're getting 95% loan to cost, loan to value on our new builds. So essentially, it's like being a new homeowner, right? You know that new homeowner program, first time home buyer, 5% down.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're building multi-million-dollar buildings with 5%. It's crazy. And commercial interest rates, as you know, are better than residential interest rates. We're at about 3.5% on, a 20, 30, 40 unit building. And we're leveraging 95%. Makes sense. The numbers make sense all day long.
Yeah. And so are you building affordable housing as well when you're doing a large building, or is this just...
We're doing affordable units as well. And again, it's project specific, right? If we need to incorporate affordable, or obviously, the pillars of CMHC MLI, you have the energy efficiency, affordability, accessibility. So every deal is different. So our commercial underwriters that underwrite our deals, I'll hone in on something, I'll send it to them. Our CMHC guys, they'll underwrite and they'll say, Adrian, to achieve maximum, to get to that 95%, we only need energy efficiency. We don't need affordability. We don't need accessibility. But some deals are different than others. So we incorporate all pillars to achieve that 100 points to get to 95% loan to value. So it's, again, that's your question, project specific.
Yeah, no, and to be able to borrow, build, and everything at 95% is unreal.
Right?
Yeah, I know when we're talking about leverage and being able to do something, that's big money right there when you're thinking about what you're gonna be able to do. Because most times you're looking at something about 35, 40% down when you're looking at acquiring something of that size. To be able to build and have brand new with the different kickbacks and the government tax benefits, the mortgage incentives that CMHC gives out, because we need all this purpose-built rentals right now. Because for so long we didn't have any purpose-built rentals, right? They stopped building them because they were making so much money off selling individual condominiums to investors. But now with where we're at and what's going on, what you're doing, I believe, is going to have a little bit of a run for the next 10 more years, where there's going to be way more purpose-built rental buildings coming out. As the number I've thrown out there before was over a third of our country pays rent. We're probably close to 40%. That number is going to continue to grow. And we need to start building more larger rental units as well. A lot of the rental units out there in the condo world that are sitting vacant and not selling right now are all your one bedroom plus dens, your junior suites, your bachelors, your tiny little micros that are 300 square feet big.
400 square feet. Yeah.
Yeah, but the ones that are moving even still and at a reasonable price are your two bedrooms. Your bigger units that can actually maybe house a small family. So we get back to those three bedrooms and stuff like that over this next little bit. I think is going to be very key in our purpose built rentals to allow, because we can only go up, right, for densification. Um, so when you're looking for people, you mentioned with the investors, is it all accredited investors that need to come on board with you, or how does that work?
The
Um,
majority are all credited investors. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Just for liability and stuff like that. And obviously, Security Commissions of Canada as well. But yeah, the majority of our investors, most if not all, are all accredited. Um, Again, we've I think we're over total almost 65 joint venture partners we've had over the years. A lot of them rinse and repeat their money and do at least two projects with us. And a lot of them, like I said, they're just busy in their day to day, whether they're other police officers or they're very, very high net worth entrepreneurs and they're focused on their business. Um, they just want, and we have the reputation, obviously, and the experience in the business. They just want to put their money there, forget about it, like back to generational wealth, the name of my company. And then we don't flip, right? We hold typically, 5, 10, 15 years, create that passive income. Again, tenants are paying down our debt over the course of the hold, and historically, passively, the property appreciates as well. And then we offload it. We typically wait at least 10 years before we cash in. And if the investors don't want to cash in, we continue to hold. It carries itself. It's managed by our company. So again, just let it ride, let it keep building.
yep,
You don't need to sell it because as soon as we sell, we're paying capital gains. But
exactly.
if we hold it for 10 and it's gone up $3 million, refinance it, pull the money out, build another building.
Yeah. No, again, with what's going on this last, call it 10, 15 years here in Ontario with real estate and the prices just continually rising, especially what's happened from 2017 to 2022, that crazy rise with people buying assignment sales, flipping papers to make so much money. A lot of the investors that I speak to are looking for a immediate, faster, huge gain that just was false back then. Like it happened for a few years. Like again, the one that blows my mind the most, and this happened a few different times, but there was a house that was bought in July in Brampton, when it closed in October, and then it just relisted, and then by January had made $400,000 just in that time. Without doing anything, they didn't even paint.
Wow.
They just bought something and then put it right back on the market because how the market was climbing so crazily. And people, investors, think that that's normal, not that they should be making instant money like that, where you're talking about refinancing, holding the property 15 years, right? And this is a get wealthy slow. This is not a get rich quick. But the fastest way to get money back out that you're putting it in is by doing the buy, renovate, and then refinance strategy, because you're able to get that money back out tax free. It's the best thing to do. We're pitching more and more and more small multifamily to everybody in the conversion now that we're allowed to build triplexes everywhere. I think it's the best way for investors right now to be getting into anything, whether they're new or experienced. It's hard to buy a single family and cash flow. It's hard to buy a single family and not have to worry that if Mr. and Mrs. Smith, one of them loses their job and now they're not paying you. Where at least if you have three families in that now triplex and one stops paying you, you're only out a little bit instead of the whole kit and caboodle, and you can help yourself manage these times a little bit more while the government fixes their issues with non-payment of rent and the delays.
When I started thinking 16 years ago and I bought my first one, that's exactly why I bought a duplex. Because I thought, if one unit, God forbid, stops paying, at least I have the other guy, in the basement that's still paying and it can offset until I can get this guy out. But yeah, that was my mindset too when I first started to have multifamily as opposed to just having a condo or single family.
Yeah. Now, if I was an investor looking to invest with your company alongside, how would I find you? What would I do? What would be the best way to learn more about
Yeah. We're all
what
over
the
social
returns are?
media. So if you just, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, You just type in generational wealth. Um, we're very searchable over all platforms of social media. Yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram or whatnot, and we can have a chat.
I'll make sure all of those links are in our bio or however this all gets put up, whether it's in a link here or a link there. But all of Adrian's and company's contacts, information, email, cell phone, everything that we have for them will be there. You can reach out to them. If you can't figure it out there, you can always reach out to myself or anyone here at the CRESI team, and we will get you in contact with Adrian and the rest of the generational wealth team. Um, and this has been a great conversation. I think we've definitely hit a lot of points. Is there anything that you want to leave us with today, or that you'd like to leave buried in someone's mind? Because I know this is a great way to have your money in and not have to worry about anything. That's for sure.
Yeah, let me give everybody the biggest piece of advice that really, really worked for me. Um, Surround yourself, whether you decide to partner with somebody or not, but you decided you're going to invest in real estate. Surround yourself with people that have done it before, that you aspire to be like, and have the knowledge. Um, it did wonders for me. I got into little groups of people. I surrounded myself. I communicated with people that have done it before, and I learned from them. Ultimately, which saved me a lot of time and mistakes and money. Not that mistakes are bad. We all learn from our mistakes, but I can't stress enough: take action, guys. Take action. Surround yourself with people that have done it before. Partner with them. Don't partner with them, but at least learn as much as you can from those people you aspire to be like. That's my biggest piece of advice. It was a game changer for me.
Uh, I
Period.
love it, Adrian. I think that's bang on. We learn from our peers, we learn from our colleagues, we learn from our colleagues and peers' mistakes as well as our own. So have those conversations, learn from professionals. Again, partner with people. Sean Quigg at Cardinal Law is a joint venture specialist lawyer. He'll help you guys put something together to make sure that if you're looking to joint venture with somebody, how to do everything like that. But again, use professionals for what they're worth. I'm going to wrap this up with just again having that in-person connections. This is why one of the things that since COVID hasn't happened anymore, and we're going to get back into doing this. We're going to start hosting an in-person investors meetup group right here in Halton region, so that we can start getting people networking again in person, having these conversations, so that people can figure out what is their right path or who they want to connect with and how they can move forward in their investment journey. Because as I said earlier in this podcast, whereas as individuals are fingerprints, some like this and some like that. So it's figuring out which way you want to go and find your own path. But
You know that
thank you.
saying, Kevin? Your network is your net worth. The connections you make at these, meetups, these in-person meetups, I always tell everybody, shake as many hands as you can, introduce yourself to as many people as you can, because somebody in that room could change a lot of things in your business or help you in your business. You never know. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah, no, I
Go
like
to as
that
many
too.
of those meetups as you can. I did as well. Again, did wonders for me.
Well, when we are doing this, we'll have you out and speak in person to our group as well, so you can talk about what you're doing here as well now, and people can learn from you that way as well. Thanks so much
Yeah.
for joining us today, Adrian. I really appreciate your time and your expertise. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye for now, folks. Enjoy your day.
Please remember, while we are professionals, this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The advice shared may not apply to your unique situation. Always seek personalized advice from a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you're finding it informative and useful, make sure to like, subscribe, share with a friend so that we can keep getting the information out there to Ontario landlords. And keep on joining us. We'll see you next time.